What's up, Reefers? This is Alex Wilson. This is my daily video log where you can learn from my mistakes, so come check it out. Alright, so here's a shot of my displays here, and one thing I wanted to mention was that I have those Ecotech radions. They are 16 inches above the water surface there. You know, on the right hand side I have the coral scrubber, and it's just like 1 for 2 feet of space there, length. And so the other one though is more than double that. I have two XR30s and 2 XR15s, right? So that's like having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 XR15s over a 5-foot length there. So it's like 1 every 8 inches. So that's definitely a little more than double. So therefore, if I have them at the same intensity, this one over here is at 1, it should be double of what that one is. So that's why I'm running it at. I'm still dealing with a toxic dinoflagellate nightmare, and I'm resetting, trying to bring the light slowly back up 1 week at a time. And so I have this one, the main display over here at 50% on the blues, and then I'm running the cool whites at 30%. And so the exact same thing over here would be double because it has, half as many lights on here. So that's why I'm up to 100% blues on this one and 60% on the cool white. So I'm gonna try that and see how that does. And one thing I've noticed that I have been running the Nobox on here by Red Sea, and it has been doing pretty good, except I've noticed that I had these phosphate readings creep up. It hit 0.18, and then a couple days later 0.29, and then a couple days later it's up to 0.7 parts per million, so creeping up and way up there now. And so I went ahead and added a little bit of the granulated ferric oxide to the media reactor that's back here in the Aquamax filter. But one thing is about, that says about the instructions on the Nobox, it says, well, you have to make sure that you have the protein skimmer going and is working efficiently to effectively export, the excess phosphate. And some of the phosphate can't be absorbed, it turns into a bacterial form and absorbed by the corals in the system and other things in the system, but a lot of it is supposed to be exported by the protein skimmer. And yeah, I have noticed, over the last couple weeks or so that this protein skimmer hasn't been producing, the skim mate that I had in the past. And so I got in there and cleaned it out and tried to adjust it, and so I can see if we can get it back on track. Otherwise, it's back to either water changes, or the granulated ferric oxide to get it back down a little bit into a more appropriate range of 0.15 is what I was shooting for, 0.1 to 0.15 parts per million. But everything else in here seems to be doing pretty good. And same polyp extension on here, and the 2.5 months is up. So for my velvet quarantine timer, so I can switch things over. So I'm gonna be doing that pretty soon. But it's tough because I want to switch things over, but I also don't want to take everything completely out, and then if I want to get something new, I put it in there, and then right away I have to reset the timer. So you have to wait another 2.5 months before you can move things over. So it's a little difficult to do, but you gotta have patience. And so that way, so in that respect, it's just more efficient to just move as much stuff as possible straight out, and then get a whole bunch of new stuff, and put it in. Although it's certainly not it's not the easiest way to do it, and it's not, causes causes a little bit of instability here for the system because taking so much stuff out, and then changes the system, all the corals, not taking up not taking up the nutrients or whatever, so taking them out, and then you could get algae blooms before you get the new stuff in. So that's just what I was kind of concerned about there. But let's check out the main display. What's up, you little thing at the main display over here today? And what do we got over here? We got the Acanthophylla over here, just looking like it's dying and it's gonna be going down So up first here, folks, one dying and dead acanthophilia. It's possible it could bounce back. It's possible it's just going to completely disintegrate from the latest toxic dinoflagellate. Nightmare bloom, that's more evidence that the dinoflagellates is in fact toxic to the corals. That's one. As well as these gonioporous over here. They got these green ones that definitely upset about that. Definitely were the toxic dinos in there. But here's a shot of the aquarium. Right, yellow tank, what do we got over here? Going to be moving over the live rock from the Australian live rocks, ready to go. So I'll be doing that today. And I don't want a whole bunch of rock in here because there isn't that much space. The aquarium is only 14 inches tall, and so just want, at max just one layer of rocks to work with, and the corals go up from there. It's not a whole lot of space, but I could put some of the stuff down into the coral scrubber. Here's the coral scrubber system right here. Let's check it out. I got a little bit of hair algae on this side over here with the protein skimmer, reef octopus. Not the end of the world. Come over here. I got these little bit of red slime in here, but it's dying back. And I have I typically run the course filter medium, but I took it off, but I have it ready to go just in case. And I typically only use it when I have like an algae problem in the main display, so I can catch everything that's dropping down. But otherwise, I just run it without any mechanical filtration, and I have down here my crushed coral as far as my detritus management. So we'll see how that works. I don't know. It's no guarantees, but you might get too dirty over the long term. I'm not sure. So I have to be cleaning it out. But if I can certainly clean it out, or I can certainly stir it up, or even remove it if I wanted to. So let's check out the main display, see if we can get some nice coral footage today. Right, yellow thing, what do you want to see? What do we want to see? This little blue, it looks like my lighting for, I forgot that I supposed to turn on the little bit wider lights here for the footage, but it should be okay. It looks like it's turning out a nice blue, so a little bit different. Not overly saturated, so it's still getting some really good shots. We got this. What is this right here? This is the kryptonite candy cane, doing good, and that was just like 1 or 2 polyps when I got it. So definitely got a whole bunch of polyps now. This blastomusa over here is a little bit of the bigger type, I think, and it's definitely doing good. And those are all candidates, as well as the Duncan right here. 1 polyp when I got them. Now it's crazy, growing good like mad. Probably the fastest and best grower out there. That's right, Duncan corals. So it'd be good candidates right there to put these guys down in my coral scrubber. They would probably do pretty well. But let's check out the clams, see what they're doing today. I got over here, these are the tridactylid blue maxima right here, and a little bit too, and then I got a gold one to the right. And then there's the blue, this is the squamosa, pretty much golden brown, but he has some blue spots on him. And we've got this micro Christmas tree worm rock right here, and it's the Phosphates on here is definitely doing nice. It has a nice brown, it has a nice green tinge to it now, definitely green here and there, so especially where it gets more light, more direct light. And the coralline algae here, though, seems like the coralline algae is really a whole bunch on the rock, and is certainly starting to fight with the Phosphates right here. You can see it right here. The Phosphates starting to lift up a little bit, where the coralline algae is starting to encroach on it. So I don't know if I should hit back the coralline algae. Might have to if it starts encroaching too much, but there you can see it right there. The coralline algae and the Phosphates having a turf war. So hopefully the coralline algae just won't completely win that. Otherwise I'll have to get in there and knock it back a little bit. Alright, so I guess that's, we got the, check out the salmon corals. This is the, this is the starry salmon coral. looking pretty good lately. And last but not least, we have the green slimer there, still hanging on. Outlived the pulsing senia, outlived a lot of the corals that died off in here, and it's starting to get a little bit of its color back to them, and it's got good pulp extension, so finger crossed right there. Bubbles are doing good right there. Acanthopus. That's the heliofungia in the back, long tentacle plague coral. God, I love it. Alright, yellow tang, well I guess that's it. But check back for the next episode, see what's going on. See what has lived and what just didn't make it, and see what's going on with the new live rock. Alright guys, happy reefing. Bye.